say?
I'm catching on to your shit. I knew you were going to say something. Welcome back to the Punk Rock Horror Podcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Cody. You gotta change up my game now.
Yeah. And today we're here to remind you that if you're living in that deep freeze vortex, to please just bundle up and stay inside if you can.
What?
You not heard of the deep freeze vortex?
No.
I think that's what it's called. Like some states right now are like in the negatives of temperatures.
Oh yeah, negative 60,
yeah, like 40s.
Yeah.
It was earlier this week that I don't know if it was a legitimate thing or a joke article, but they said it was supposed to be colder in Chicago than it is in Antarctica.
Jesus.
Yeah. Again, I don't know if it was a joke article or not, but if it's not a joke, still shit, because it takes I think 15 minutes to half hour for you to get frostbite on your hands.
You know, because climate change isn't real.
Yeah. We could use a good dose of global warming.
I know. We just went over this whole entire spiel.
Nope, just let it go. We gotta let it go. We gotta let it go. Nope, we're letting it go. Wait, nope, we gotta let it go. That's my bad. Anyways, no. Seriously, if you're in those cold states, just please stay warm. Just bundle up. Stay inside if you can stay inside. And if you're delivering pizzas, you're the real heroes right now.
Dude, just quit.
I mean,
call in, man.
I mean, aside from the ambulances and police and obviously you're heroes, but if you're delivering pizzas to people who are staying inside, you're also a hero in our book. So pat yourselves on the back, give yourself a slice of that pizza.
Okay, I just hope whoever is doing, because the second they pull it out of the car, the pizza's frozen. So I just really want to see someone overly the top, wearing one of those giant fucking coats and all one piece where they actually have to waddle like a penguin to walk because they're bundled up so much.
Right.
Here's a pizza, man. What? The pizza.
Oh,
Can you please hand it to me? And they have to waddle sideways because they can't move their arms.
A sirless attitude, please. Yeah, take that from your tip. Thank you.
And he tries to throw it at her, but he has to follow forward.
Just Kenny's at God damn it. Oh man, that would if I was a pizza delivery guy, I would cop a slice for every place I had to go to.
Yep.
It's negative 40 degrees out. Fuck you.
Yeah. You're ordering pizza.
Fuck you. This is my tip, is me surviving. I'm putting this hot slice of pizza in my shoe so my feet don't fall off.
Tim, why do you smell like pepperoni? Shut the fuck up.
Better questions, why are you making me come to fucking work today?
Yeah. Oh my god, that'd be the worst.
Oh. God, just stay warm, people.
Yeah, seriously.
Stay warm.
If you have to kill a tauntaun to do it.
Yeah, supposedly there's even some police that are saying if you want to commit a crime, just don't. Just don't do it today. It is so fucking cold. Apparently that was said in some states. They're just for one, don't, because you're gonna fucking die trying to steal a TV.
Yeah, right.
Oh man.
God damn, all the homeless people though.
Yeah, that's really sad.
But
we kind of have to hope that places like Chicago have backup plans for the homeless in situations like this.
Yeah, because it is a fairly cold city anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they do, but we gotta hope they do.
Yeah.
If not, though, we definitely send out our most sincere condolences.
Yep.
So, because that's fucking rough.
Yeah, because it's 2019, that's all we can do.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers. I'm going to change my Facebook to a temp Facebook profile pic. Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. That's just our culture. Anyways, what do you love and hate?
Well, I was going to give an interesting tidbit to make it a little...
Oh, okay.
But, no.
Fine. No.
Well, no, because me and you were... Well... So we and you were talking about this on the way on our, because we took a break before we recorded. We went to 7-Eleven, and it's a 7-Eleven by your place.
Yeah.
That this happened. So a year ago to this day, I believe, maybe even a little sooner than that. I went to the 7-Eleven just to pick up like a Monster for me and you and like a Slim Jim. And like
really what you got tonight.
yeah, I just like it's my little like break routine I normally do. And like I went up to the counter to pay for my stuff and like I can tell the dude was like high or hungover or whatever. I didn't care. It's 7-Eleven. It's not the most crucial like sensitive job in the world to not where you have to not be sober, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's not like you have to like drive an ambulance or anything like that. Like it just, anyways. So like,
I like that's your comparison for everything now. At least you don't have to drive an ambulance.
It's fucking true though. I mean, what would you rather do? Have a stoned, hungover dude drive an ambulance, or check you out at 7-Eleven?
Just saying.
This is exactly my point. I should be a lawyer. Your Honor. We could either have him be working at 7-Eleven or serial killer. You tell me which is worse. I would say it's serial killer.
Alright, case thrown out.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, another successful case, Mr. McCord.
It just don't make sense.
And like, yeah, that would be my opponent. It was like the stereotypical Texan who has like the hat.
Oh, by George!
He starts like jumping on it. You're friggin' Reagan.
You got me again. That McCord boy.
And then like I'll just jump like in my top back like car that's painted red, whatever car, maybe a Mustang, and like yeah, then I just drive off.
I wouldn't watch that, just to let you know.
It'd be powered by candy and, like, Guinness.
It's like, put the gummy bears in there, John Joe. He's like, I can't, I ate them all. Oh, why'd you go and do that?
I'd have a talking parrot sidekick. Brah, what the case on the tip of a beak?
Oh my god.
But anyways, so like this day that I went there, I was getting my stuff and the dude's just like he's like that's gonna be 803 and I'm like what? And he's like oh my bad man, I meant 803. Sorry, I'm a little tie and like that phrase fucked me up so bad.
Dude, you looked confused when you came back. Like, you still were pondering it when you got back.
Yeah, you're just like...
I remember I think I was just watching YouTube while you went, and then you came back and you're just like shaking your head, staring out there. I was like, what the fuck happened to you?
This is like, there's always something weird that happens to me every time I come up here. Like, this grown-ass man, full face beard, looks me in the eye and says, I'm tie-tie. How do I get, like, and truthfully, it's a small, insignificant thing that doesn't matter, but it was such a random, like, a grown-ass man, I'm tie-tie. Hi, tie-tie, I'm Matt.
Well, like, I'm thinking about it, it's like, what if that was, like, his first day, and he has a kid, and that's why he says tie-tie, like, oh, are you tie-tie? Does someone need to take a nap because they're tie? Like, he's like one of those people.
I don't think he had a kid, dude.
And he was so tired from taking care of his kid and saying tie so much that it just crossed over to when he was there. And he quit from embarrassment because he's like, I can't believe I just acted like that tonight.
No, that's...
like, because I don't think I...
No, that's not an excuse. Because I've never told a grown adult, hey... Sorry, man, I gotta go make boom boom.
I know, I'm just saying. Do you need a sip from the drink?
I never looked at something like, I gotta go potty. I gotta go do the potty. Like, I normally just tell people, I gotta go take a shit. Like, but this grown-ass man just, I'm tie-tie. And I'm like, you're fired. Go home. I'm taking over for you.
Okay, just you saying like, I need to go boom boom. Just fucking, oh my god, it always reminds me of Harrison because like fucking, I don't know what it is. Tonight, like I was just sitting there in my chair, like doing shit on my phone, like before we were recording, and he was like, "Man, I really need to go pee," and he like looks over to me, and then looks back at the TV, and he goes. Said I really need to go pee, and I like look at him like, then fucking go. Like, what do you want from me? Like, whenever he needs to get up to do something, it's like he looks over to me to just like get reassurance that I heard him that he needs to do his business. And I'm like, what do you're allowed? Like, what do you want from me? I'm not going to give you permission to go pee. Like, just go pee.
Maybe he was like waiting for you to give some sort of wise ass crack or some sort.
But he said it again.
I don't know, man. That's interesting.
I know. I'm just like, because that's not the first time he's done it to me. Like, there's a couple of times. Like, one time I was just sitting there. And he's like, "Oh man, I really need shit." Looks over to me, looks back. "Oh man, I really need to shit." And I'm just like, go! There's a bathroom, right? Like, not even 20 feet from your chair. Like, what do you want from me?
We need to get Harrison on a shirt.
I think what I looked at it, I was like, do you want me to wipe you? Like, what are you asking? You want me to hold you above the toilet? Like, what? Just go. And he just goes, and he gets up and goes. Like,
maybe that's why he does it, because I bet he knows if he says it a second time, it annoys you. And I bet he likes the reaction he gets from you.
That's right, I'm talking about you. I hear you up there.
He's just like, what? He's like, I'm going to keep doing it now.
Yeah.
No, so anyways, on to things we love and hate.
Yeah.
So
sure you're not tie-tie.
I'm not tie-tie. I'm not tie-tie. I haven't seen that guy since then. I've only seen him work that one day, so...
like I said, I think he probably quit from embarrassment.
He probably got fired.
I'm sorry, I've been tie-tied today. I quit.
And that's the thing. It wasn't like he had an actual stutter. Like, when someone has a stutter.
No, I know. He was legitimately said he was tie-tie.
Yeah. Because if he had an actual stutter, I wouldn't poke fun of him. But it was just, again, grown-ass man, I'm tie-tie.
Oh, man. The only two people I know that would mess up, like, mentally is you and Michael. Like, I could only imagine if someone said that to Michael.
I hope Michael's listening to it.
I think he would actually have an aneurysm. You go, what the fuck did you just say to me? Like,
I hope Michael's listening to this and he's like, yeah, it fucking would. He's like, I agree. Why the fuck would a grown-ass man say he's tie-tie?
Right, Matt, what do you love and what do you hate?
So, speaking of things we talked about like almost a year ago, so now I'm not saying any of you listeners are here to blame. I'm assuming if you're here and you're listening to us that you did the right thing when I talked to you a year ago when we first came out with our first episode, our first episode, and I talked about it, and I'm sure you did it, but for fuck's sake, we got measles. For fuck's sake. I talked about this a year ago. Why is no one getting fucking vaccinated? Now we have measles that have finally fucking come back. Like, an almost completely eradicated disease. And it's back. It's resurrected. And now there's people legitimately asking, how can I keep my kid from getting measles? And I almost punched the wall into oblivion until my arm shatters into pieces, and out of pure anger and frustration that people aren't getting fucking vaccinated.
So just like here's a funny thing to calm me down, sir, because of this.
Okay.
So like I saw this post on Facebook where this chick legitimately tweeted out,
I
don't vaccinate my kids, but how do I keep them from getting measles?
I know what you're talking about.
And oh my god, everyone just tore her a new one. Yeah. Like, well, you can kiss your kid goodnight for the last time. Or how about you don't get too attached? You can try again.
My favorite one I saw that was put Frank's Red Hot sauce, and I put that shit on everything. But it's just fucking infuriating. Because, like, we get onto these huge rants of, like, being, like, this superior species and what we need to do to make our comfort level above everything else in the entire world, and yet we won't get fucking vaccinated. Like, it's just, I just can't wrap my head around it. Like, how do we get to this point where it's like, hey, here's problem A, here's solution B, and here's how we get to the complete mission of C by combining the two. Yeah, but I feel like if we take out B and try Z, then and add in a couple threes and a Q, maybe that'll work. No, we just need B. Where B works just fine. But I feel like a few more Q's and an asterisk also helps.
Dude, all I gotta say is, good. Let's eradicate them all.
But it's fucking infuriating because it's like the kids aren't to blame. It's not the kids' fault, and they're the ones that are fucking suffering because the parents are fucking assholes. And that's the thing that's pissing me the fuck off about this, is that it's just that it's these people who want to bring these kids into the world, who just want to let their kids live and give them the best life they can, but they don't actually support giving them the best life that they can. And so they're just fucking over their own kids. And it's just like there should be it should be like mandatory in all schools that kids be vaccinated these days.
It used to,
and that's what I'm saying. It should still be that way, but no, it's because of parents who lose their goddamn fucking mind because they don't do their own goddamn research of what vaccinations actually do, and it's just fucking infuriating.
Again, it's that argument: would you rather have your kid be autistic or dead?
And
that was the main argument,
right? Great. Well, don't get me started on Jada McCarthy's dumbass again.
I know.
But it's just infuriating. Like, it's just like, I can't wrap my head around how fucking stupid of a species we are sometimes. And I'm not saying, obviously, keep in mind, I'm not talking about everyone. If you've done your due diligence and you've gotten yourself and you've gotten your kid vaccinated, more power to you. High five. Pat yourself on the back. But if you're someone who believes that essential oils or rock therapy or some bullshit
that gets rid of measles.
Yeah.
Here's a measles. You know what? I'm going to get a rock, rub it on someone who has measles, and give it to an anti-vax person.
I was going to dump a bunch of lavender oil on someone. Hey, does this work? Oh, would you look at that? Now they're coughing. I gave him a cough. Great. Fucking great. And like, yeah, I'm using a very, like, barbaric example of, like, essential oils. But the point being is that essential oils don't fucking work on measles. Like, there's actual proven science and then spiritual theories. And I'm going to go with the actual proven science over the spiritual fucking theories. Because that's all they are. It's spiritual theories. There's no actual proof that essential oils work. And there isn't.
No.
It's all a placebo effect, and that's been proven. Even Science Versus has done an actual episode on oils, and they've shown, and they have cited sources to show that there isn't enough info or information to actually back up that essential oils do anything for you.
It's because they didn't believe.
Yeah, it's because their third eye is closed. Fuck off.
See, this is why the world's a donut.
And that's why I'm just accepting this point. I'm like, look, if I had to make a trade-off, I'd rather believe the world is a donut and everyone gets vaccinated. Like I'd rather just accept. If that was my trade-off, fine, fucking whatever. But just fuck you if you haven't gotten your kid vaccinated. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying like if you haven't been able to, because I understand there are those very rare cases where you can't do it, whether it's because if you are actually allergic to the vaccination or your kid is allergic, because that does happen.
Yeah.
There are people who are allergic to it. But I mean, if you have all the ability to get a vaccination and you haven't gotten one, just go fuck yourself. Just fuck you, dude. Like, pure and simple.
To reiterate, and he actually means the people who choose not to, not if you haven't like spaced it out or anything.
Yeah.
It's more like if you choose not to get your kids vaccinated, go fuck yourself, man. Like
and because I get it. There's little exceptions where you might have a busy schedule and you can't do it, and I'll let it go. It's whatever. But what Cody just said, if you're choosing not to and you're protesting it, is what I'm talking about. Again, not people who actually can't get it because they're allergic to it. Because I actually do know, because I do have a previous coworker who she couldn't get vaccinated because she was actually allergic to it, and so she just can't get it because of that, and that does happen. But that's different. If you're protesting getting in, go fuck yourself.
Yep.
But
so what do you love?
So what I love is going to kind of start a little sad, but there is actually good in it. So bear with me. This is a little long. I can actually save it for last if you want to jump in first, because it is a little long.
Is it snappy?
It is.
Okay.
Do you want to jump in and then I'll finish on mine?
No, go ahead with snappy.
Okay, so I've been having a rough couple weeks on my end due to a lot of things, but one of the biggest things that really hit me hard recently is that I lost a long time pet I've had for 2+ decades of my life. I had a little, well, he wasn't little, he got big. A big.
He was fat.
Yeah, he got big. I had a red-eared snapping turtle that I got when I was about 7 or 9 years old, and I named him, Snappy, because he was a snapping turtle, and it hit me hard because he passed away, and it went away naturally, but it hit me really, really hard. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, listeners, I broke down and I cried about it, and I know from an outside perspective, it's like, Matt, it's a turtle. Get your shit together. What's the big deal? And you know what? That's fair. That is fair to see it like that. But what I want you to kind of understand is I've had him for 20+ years of my life. He's been the most constant thing in my life. No matter what I was going through, I would always come home and he would be there. And I understand it's not the same as like a dog or a cat where you can cuddle with them. But for me, I was attached to my turtle. And it just hit me hard. It was really, really rough. And I recently buried him. And, it still sucks. And it's still hard whenever you lose a pet that you cherish. Or just anything in general. But, and I know you're saying, but Matt, this is supposed to be something you love. So what do you love? So, first off, I do want to say that I love my turtle. But what really mattered to me is the day it happened. I was just kind of reminded of the amount of love that I'm surrounded with. First off, my wife and my daughter kicked into action that day. They were the first ones who came to my aid because, they obviously live with me, so they're obviously going to be there.
No, they just teleported there.
Yeah, just right. And so when it hit me, I was mad and I was sad, and, I kind of just broke down and started crying, and then I calmed down, and my daughter came back out and sat on my lap and hugged me, and she said something to me that I've been teaching her, and that Lauren have been teaching her, which is like good emotional health and being aware of your emotions. And so one thing I would tell my daughter is, it's okay to be mad and it's okay to be sad, but you can't let that take control over you, and be mad and sad at the moment, but you gotta learn to work past it. And so as I was like sitting on the ground, she sat on my lap, hugged me, and said, I told him like, hey, Daddy's sorry. He's sad right now, because his turtle died. And she said to me, it's okay. Sometimes we get sad, sometimes we get mad, and that's okay. And that just like made this huge warmth in my heart in that moment. And my wife, she jumped in at that time as well, and she reached out to my parents who were down town at the time, who weren't planning to come over. They were just planning to go up because they came down to have dinner with my uncle, and they came over last minute to give me some comfort when they had to be up early next day for work. And then my friend Jenna came over that night as well, who she wasn't planning to come over till the next day. And then the next day came, and our friends Brant Couture came over, and then we had the Royal Rumble, and just everyone just was being very supportive and like, hey, I'm really sorry that you lost your turtle. You had him forever. And then even you called me as well, Cody, because I know Warren reached out to you and said, hey, this is hitting Matt pretty hard, basically.
Yeah.
And like you called me as well, and like I just got really humbled because it's because it just reminded me how much support and love I have in my life, and it was just nice to have this outpouring of affection over something as small from an outside perspective as a turtle, where it's a small turtle, but to me it was this big part of my world, and just the amount of affection that came towards me, and the amount of support and the amount of understanding just meant the world to me, and it just really humbled me. And even though I was having a bad couple weeks, that was like a nice little glimmer of light, a rainbow in the dark for me.
It's a rainbow in the dark.
Exactly, just exactly. Like Dio and everything. Like Dio himself actually came to me. Excuse me, but that's what I love. It's just family and friends. And if you're someone out there who has those same people in your lives, don't take them for granted, because even if they drive you crazy in some ways, don't take them for granted, because they're always going to be there for you for your darkest times, even if it's just something as small as a turtle to someone else that's as big as the world to you. And that's just what I love. And so thank you to everyone who supported me, and just for that pouring of love. Thank you to Cody, because you're right here, so obviously
fucking better.
But also real big huge thank you to my parents and my friends, and everyone who came to the Royal Rumble at my place the other day. And the biggest thank you to my wife and my daughter, because they really came to my rescue that day. Mm-hmm. And without them, no one else would have known what happened. Obviously you would have found out, but just a big thank you. So anyways,
why even bother now?
That's what I was saying. You want me to finish, man? But you know what? This fits because just go ahead. I'll tell you why it fits after you finish yours. I'll tell you why. No, do it. Come on.
No, come on.
Lighten up the mood.
No, forget it. I don't even want to do this anymore. I forget it now. I just wanted.
No.
I didn't have anything that deep, but like, something.
God, I make me feel bad about it.
Good. No, something I love is that like, so one thing that I was finally able to, that I've been like doing for myself like once a month is like buying a load of comic books. And there have been a lot of like comics that I've been really wanting to read, but one thing that I've always wanted to do that I don't know why I never did, but was like really get into Daredevil. And so right. I've been, and like, I think one of the reasons why I never really got into him before was because like I collect graphic novels. Like I don't do the like issue by issue comics. I don't like doing that. I don't know why. I like having just the full story at my disposal. And so what I've been doing is actually buying like Daredevil comics. So like I got the few big ones like Born Again, Born Again and Guardian Devil, which if you guys enjoyed season 3, it's the two graphic novel series that the season 3 Daredevil is based on. So I've just been enjoying that and like finding old Punisher comics that I've been missing. So that's kind of just, like a whole lot hasn't really happened yet.
Well, but
like there's some things
really
like
cool,
coming
though.
up, like Dev and Audrey are actually going to be moving in here in the next week or two. Yeah, so that's a big change that's happening.
Well, it's like, it's not bad.
No, it's not bad. And like, if it sounds like, like I'm not excited
it's just
about
a big
it, it's
step.
just,
It's a big step.
if it sounds like I'm not excited about it, it's not that. Like, I am excited. It's just something that like, I haven't lived with a significant other since the lump. So, and there's been kind of a reason why I haven't lived with a significant other. Like me, like
to be fair, I would say in respect to Dev, she is far different from Lump.
Oh yeah, no, I know, but like I'm just saying, like there's been a real good reason why I've never even like a couple of my exes that we were together for a couple of years, like I never brought up us moving in together. Like it was like not so there's always been a reason. And like for a while, like Dev has been talking about us moving in together anyways, like in the future and stuff like that. And there's always this voice in the back of my head like, the fuck you are. Like just because of like that one bad experience. And like don't get like so it's a little nerve-wracking and it's a huge change because like it's a lot of things are gonna have to change for me once that happens.
Yeah.
So like I am excited, but I am really nervous. But yeah, the thing, and then like the thing that I hate. So I was thinking about talking about the Super Bowl, and it's just but like to me, like again, this Super Bowl, it feels just like the Giants versus Patriots 2.
Oh yeah.
No one cares. Like I don't feel like anyone like.
It's
not just the fact that the Broncos aren't in it. Like and we're in Colorado, so like, of course, when the Broncos went to the Super Bowl, it seemed like a bigger deal. But like, Okay, so like last year was super exciting because of the Eagles. Like it was the first time they've been to the Super Bowl in God knows how long, and the first time they went to the Super Bowl was against the Patriots.
Right.
And I know like this year, like it's still kind of exciting because the Rams haven't been to the Super Bowl in for fucking ever too. But like I don't know, I don't really hate it. It's just like it feels weird not caring about it this year.
Yeah.
So like feel like the biggest thing that like I don't know, like it was that, and then I was thinking about talking about even though I just talked about the Super Bowl, like the other thing that I was thinking about talking about was the fact that like one of my favorite wrestlers from in WWE is quitting, Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, I saw
like,
that.
He's quitting the WWE, and it's totally justifiable, man. Like they ruined his character, both his face and heel and championship run because
he's a good wrestler.
He's good. He had a great character,
Yeah.
but they just won fucking Roman Reigns
The
longest time. And like, don't get me wrong, like I hope Roman Reigns gets well. Like if you're a WWE fan, you know what's going on. If not, he suffers from his leukemia came back. He suffered from leukemia when he was younger, and it reemerged. And from what I think sources I've seen from like the YouTube shows that I watch, they've talked about it. He's actually doing really well, so that's good to hear.
Yeah, and it's nothing against like Roman Reigns himself.
No, it's just
it's
like,
how the WWE is handled.
Yeah, and they fucking Dean Ambrose was like the new Mick Foley, or he could even arguably be like the new Stone Cold in a sense. Like he showed a lot of
modern
shows.
Stone Cold.
Yeah, and they just ruined it because they wanted Roman Reigns instead, and then because Dean Ambrose's whole thing is like he doesn't like the hokey shit. Who didn't like the hokey shit and got away with not doing hokey shit? Stone Cold. His stuff was all modern, and it would have made a lot more sense for Dean Ambrose's character.
Yeah,
but that's something I kind of hate. And then, fuck, man, I had something. I can't fucking remember it now.
Was it the Royal Rumble?
No, it wasn't. It had nothing to do with either of those. It was something I can't fucking remember. I don't know.
No, but
it's gonna pop into my head.
I agree though. Like Roman Reigns, again, it's nothing against Roman Reigns himself.
Yeah, because honestly, as a wrestler, he was good. He's good. He actually put on decent matches. It's just the fact that
it's just how WWE's handled him and pushed him because they've done it in completely the wrong way. And we talked a little bit about before is that he should have been a heel more than a face.
Oh yeah, and then okay, so talking about all that, actually makes me really excited for AEW. It's the new thing that Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks are putting on. It's the brand new wrestling promotion. Yeah. Brand new. And I'm super excited about that, partly because my mom and my stepdad for Christmas, they realized I started getting it was really funny because I didn't realize the shirt they got me, but it hit me the second I realized what it was. It was one of those gifts where you look at it and they're waiting for your expression for you to finally realize what it was. But I just recently, I've always kind of liked it, but I've been getting more into NJPW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, and they fucking got me the Elite, which is their Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks stable, and hence why their new wrestling promotion is gonna be All Elite Wrestling. They got me their shirt, and it took me a second. I was like, the Elite. What the fuck? And then I saw the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and Cody Rhodes, and I was like, oh, fucking hell. I got super excited about that. Because, this was back in Christmas, so it's been a while, but it was, one of those things where it just, it was so... I didn't realize they knew that I liked them that much. Yeah. It's because I don't really talk about them. It was, a heartwarming moment for me. But I'm super excited for AEW.
Yeah. So, all right, then.
Yeah, I know the thing that I hate is going to hit me sometime in the middle, later on in the episode. I'll just pop up and shout it.
Or you could just finish it out at the end. And we have it. So.
For that.
So let's jump to it, though. Do you want to do... Who went first last time?
I think I went first.
No. I think I did. Which, by the way, I'm going to... It's funny because on Anna's latest segment of Fuck You, Matt and Cody, she actually disagreed with you on your movie.
What?
The Banshee Chapters.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I watched it with her and she said it sucked. And I'm like, you don't know good movies.
So, she just was like... To be fair, at first I was like, haha, she didn't say anything about mine. Then I'm like, wait a minute, mine was probably... Thinking about it, I'm like, mine's too boring. That's why I didn't even deserve it. So I started to self-critique it again. I'm like, no, fuck Anna, it deserved to be disagreed with.
Why don't you ever argue with me?
Then I was like, why do I want her to argue with me? And I'm like, I'm really bored at work.
He's like, I feel left out.
I'm so bored at work that I'm wanting to have arguments with people that don't know I want to have arguments with them.
Yeah, basically. You know, fuck you, Anna. Banshee Chapters is fantastic. Not just whatever you... Generation after the millennial person.
Yeah, dick. I don't know. Oh, man. That's just fucking... that's funny.
I love that movie.
But yeah, I think you actually did go after me last time, so...
Yep.
So then that means you go first this time, buddy.
Fine. Oh, wow. They already have their IMDb page up.
Yeah, so...
Cool. So
this is kind of a special one.
Yeah, this is actually going to be a special one. We both watched it. Actually, funny enough, we both seen both the movies out. Our movies this time.
Actually, but I want to give a little backstory real quick before you jump into the details. So
fine.
So what inspired us to do comedic horror movies was we were reached out to and been part of help promoting this film, directed by Matt Frame, and we've had them on the podcast and interviewed them. Dave Piniak and I'm so sorry, Chris Allen. I think it was. Let me double check. But either way, we've had him on here and we've been promoting this movie called Camp Death 3, and we decided to...
In 2D!
And we decided to actually just not only just promote this film, but actually just, fucking review it and suggest you why you need to check it out, because this is going to be a very controversial film.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did have Dave Piniak and Chris Allen on.
What the hell are you doing, Kat?
So... With all due respect and enough being said, Cody, you took over the reins for reviewing this movie, so go for it.
Yeah, so this is a very interesng movie.
Yeah, and to be fair, we did watch it together, but this is mostly yours.
So Camp Death 3 in 2D,
which is coming out this month.
Yeah, it's coming out this month.
On Amazon.
On Amazon Prime. You can find it's a comedy horror parody of Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D, and is proudly presented in 2 dimensions. So directed by Matt Frame, written by Chris Allen, Catherine Alpen. There's a lot of people who went into this movie.
Oh yeah.
And then it stars Dave Piniak. Angela Gallinopoulos. Great. And Darren Andrechuk. So, fair warning, if you are, in the great words that were made up of being said by The Rock, because he never said these things, if you are a PC snowflake, you are not going to enjoy this movie. It is very non-PC, and it's to a satirical way. Like it wears its influences and its satire on its sleeves. Like, oh my god, and it's so enjoyable for it. So like, it's extremely over the top with everything, and like I was giggling throughout the whole entire movie just because it was just so ridiculous. And I really enjoyed the movie. Like, but I will say that you do have to have special taste for this kind of movie.
Well, what's the movie about, though, Cody?
All right, so basically, what's his name? Where is he? Uncle. Todd, the Dave Piniak's character, Todd, his uncle is opening up, the Camp Crystal.
It's Uncle Mel, but they don't.
Uncle Mel, okay.
Yeah, but they have him listed as Mel Boog Jumper.
Yeah, Mel Boog Jumper. Mel Boog Jumper is reopening up a camp off of a lake, and then it's making fun of Friday the 13th, like it says in the thing, and so it's called Camp Crystal Meth Lake.
And the camp is for a bunch of
mentally handicapped kids.
But they're not mentally handicapped. They're actually
psycho. They got.
Well, they don't like to be called psycho. What's the?
Dude, I can't remember. He just kept calling them retards and stuff like that. So it's like I don't remember what they exactly.
They're basically people from an asylum.
Yeah.
Coming to a summer camp.
Yep. And so Todd is the main camp counselor. He's like the one running it and everything for his uncle, and his co-camp counselor is Rachel. And so the camp, was the site for a bunch of grisly murders of camp counselors, like in Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
And this movie plays a lot of homages to 80s flicks. Not just 80s horror, 80s flicks. And they're subtle. Like some of them are really subtle, and if you aren't like up to snuff on your 80s slasher flicks, like you'll miss them. Like there's one that's pretty obvious. I mean, like the Jason Voorhees like mask. Like they're wearing the killer just wears like I always forget what it's called, but basically the Jabberwockies mask is what I always call it. The dance group, the Jabberwockies, okay. They wear the plain mask.
Yeah.
But like there's an homage where you'll see a Jason Friday 13th 3 poster in the background. And so it's like, but they can't show the full name because, copyright. So they just show Friday that's the 13th. It. Just
yeah.
And so like, but there's like a scene that is referencing Sleepaway Camp. It's really quick, and if you have never seen Sleepaway Camp, you won't get it. It's just a pot on the ground in the kitchen, and it's like that's a very important death from the movie. But like, there's all kinds of little hints, like Uncle Mel. He's actually he's a spoof of not Groundhog's Day.
No,
Caddyshack. Caddyshack of Bill Murray's character from Caddyshack.
Where he's hunting down the squirrel.
Yeah,
instead of a
gopher, he's or groundhog, he's hunting a squirrel and stuff, and it's so over the top. It's hard to describe this movie. It really is. Like it's kind of something you just need to watch because I feel like if I actually described it would not do it justice. But like, it's really enjoyable. And so like I said, I was laughing the entire time. I guess the best way to describe it is like you're kind of on an acid trip the entire time.
Yeah.
It's especially the makeout scenes.
Yeah. So I mean, what this movie does great is that it likes to go. It's what you're talking about. It's a perfect satire and parody of all those movies. And so when they parody and satire something, they go over the top with it. Like, they make sure you know
like, you think Scary Movie is a satire? This takes it to a whole nother level.
Yeah, I would say this, like, what the example I gave to it, and even during my interview with Dave and Chris, was that, and I don't think I mentioned it during the interview, but, like, off recordings, is that this movie reminds me the humor of like classic South Park.
Yeah, it is
like very classic.
Basically, if you could imagine South Park in live action, this is basically what the movie would be.
Well, and it doesn't hold back because I mean it introduces you to Uncle Mel, where his probably my favorite line of the whole movie is "fuck your world."
Yeah, well, that's the tagline of the camp.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Fuck your world,
and it's just, but like there's. In that scene, and it's just in the beginning of the movie, where we're introduced to Dave Paniqu's character, Todd Boob Jumper, as he's introducing the characters, the camp counselors, and one of them, played by Chris, is a handicapped gentleman in a wheelchair, and like so he's struggling to get back in his wheelchair, and so Darren and Enderchuck's Uncle Mel goes up to him and starts just kicking him like in the side.
He's just beating the shit out of him, and then he walks off, and then it like lingers there for a second, then he just comes running back and starts kicking the shit out of him again. Like it's funny. Like like I said, like we said, it's basically like a live action early South Park where like they did not hold back and stuff. And like I know that especially the most recent couple of seasons, South Park's actually hasn't held back, but like. This reminds me of the older ones.
Like anal probes in the anus.
Yeah, actual anal probes. I want to sing it. I want to sing it. And dance and sing it.
Yeah, and it's... Go ahead.
But yeah, and it's just like... And you could tell the actors are having fun with it. Like, that's one thing that I noticed with, like, satire movies is you can tell when, like, the actors are kind of phoning it in.
Yeah.
And in this movie, like, you think they're phoning it in, but at the same time, like, you can tell they're having fun. Like, they know it's a satire. They know it's going to be stupid and ridiculous and over the top, and they just go with it.
Right.
Especially the crying scenes. Oh my gosh, the fact that like whenever Rachel would run away, she's just waving her arms in the air. They're like, ah, ah. It's just stuff like that.
I will say a con for the movie though is some of the effects are definitely not that good.
No.
And there's points in the movie where that works for it, but there's some times where you can just tell it's a green screen.
Yeah,
and
it's hard.
It takes you out of it. I mean, not that like it's written for you to get really invested in the story, as it's more written for you to laugh at it and to just kind of put your pride and morals aside for a second to laugh at.
Yeah.
But it's still just like the effects can be a bit rough here and there. So that's a con that has to be held against it.
Yeah, like I didn't want to make that as a con because I was like, okay, it's a satire. It's not like
right.
Because okay, so like the thing that it kind of reminded me of first, and honestly, like it as I kept watching it, like I definitely didn't think about it anymore. It was kind of like the sequels to Ginger Dead Man, where I knew they were really bad.
I actually thought about that when we decided to try to give shade towards bad movies.
Yeah, but like. But the thing with those movies, like I definitely don't feel like there's a whole lot of love behind those movies, and in this one you can see it. You can see how much love and passion they have for this movie, and the reason why I say that, like compared to the other movies, that this one you see all the references, and you know that they're like, yeah, they're satiring them, but you see the references in a lot of like little hints to old movies. Like it's really good. Like that's why I like this so much. Like it's a terrible great movie because like you just laugh at it. You don't take it seriously, and you can tell they made it so you don't take it seriously, and you see everyone having fun in the movie. And yeah, I recommend like just give it a watch if you just want a really stupid fun movie to watch, to enjoy, to laugh at. Over the top satire, and you're not PC. Like I can't stress that enough. I hate that we have to use that as a term.
I mean, but I mean, there's a perfect Irish stereotype.
In
the movie as a character.
Okay, I laughed my ass off when the first thing that he did was get so excited about his little lunch pail of potatoes, and it's all gold. It's like a pot of gold. Like, the potatoes shine like gold when he opens it. And he's so happy that he has potatoes. And then you just see him in another scene, like, just straight up take a bite out of the potatoes.
Yeah.
It was just, oh my God.
And he has this little, like, Irish flute.
Yeah.
And, like, he plays the spoons.
Spoons. And he yells at everyone with a really thick Irish accent to get the fuck up in the morning.
Yeah. And so, it's perfect, like, alternative comedy. Yeah. Like, Tim and Eric, awesome show, great job.
Yeah, that's spot on of what I would say. If you're into that show, you'll love this movie.
Yeah, it's perfect. It is so weird with its humor that if you can't recognize that it's supposed to be dumb humor and it's supposed to be alternative, then yeah, you're gonna hate it. But if you can put like your pride and your morals of what you consider funny aside and give it a shot, you're gonna go in for an actual like good ride for like a movie that, like what Cody's saying, has a lot of love behind it.
Yeah, and so like, and it's not long. Like it's a little over an hour.
Yeah, it's like an hour and 20 minutes, not including the credits.
Oh, I thought it said it was only like an hour and 3 or hour 13. I don't know. It's not that long. If you have a spare hour in the day, like give it a watch. Like it's fun. It's stupid. It's good. Like funny humor. At least to me, I thought it was fucking funny. So
right,
yeah. It will be coming out on Amazon. When will it come out on Amazon Prime?
I think when I last talked to Matt Frame, he said that it was either going to be like February 12th or February 15th.
Okay, yeah. So it's going to be coming out soon. Definitely give it a watch. It'll be free for Amazon Prime users. Yeah, just like I said, just give it a watch. It's fun.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be free for Amazon Prime users. I don't think we should make that claim until we know.
Okay, yeah, don't take that to heart. I mean, I just know it's going to be on Amazon Prime Video.
It's going to be primarily on Amazon. That's where you're going to find it. We can't guarantee that's going to be for free on Prime, but even if it's not free, you should still come and like buy the movie, and not just because we're promoting it, because pure and simple, Matt Frame isn't paying us anything to do this, and not that we would require him to. him and Dave and Chris have just been really nice to us and, you know, really cool with us. And these are the movies that we look out for when we do our movie reviews, is the ones that don't get enough credit. And we see this movie becoming one of those movies to where with how obscure and over the top it is, it's going to build a cult following.
Oh, yeah.
And so you heard it here from us at Punk Rock Horror Podcast to check out this movie. This is our first one that we've been able to see before it's ever come out, and we're just telling you guys, just keep your eyes open.
Yeah, keep your eyes open, keep an open mind, and check it out. It'll be out sometime this month.
I bet we can find a way when it comes out. Let's see.
Or you could just do your movie now.
Why do you gotta be that guy?
Just saying, you know, now it's just kind of like extra fluff.
Yeah, but
if phenomena. Phenomena. Because it just says release date 2018.
Yeah. Well, that's the chalk to him. It should be February 15th.
There you go. February 15th. Check out Camp Death 3 and Sorry, I have to say it like that because it's an exclamation point after the 2D.
So yeah. But there you go. There's a review for Camp Death 3. Just check it out, everyone.
Yeah.
So then,
what did you do your movie
on?
What
I do my movie on? Who should you?
Come here, boy. Come here. What'd you do your movie on? What'd you do your movie? What'd you do your movie on? If you can't tell, it's about.
I did Fido.
Get it, Fido.
I did Fido.
Like you say to a dog.
I did Fido, which came out in 2006 and is.
Holy shit! Really? Like it holds up.
Yeah, it really does. We'll get into it in just a second here. So, Fido, directed by Andrew Curry, written by Robert. Oh, hold on.
Gross.
Sorry.
Son of a bitch.
Written by Robert Chamayak and Andrew Curry. Stars Keeson Lauder, Bill Connolly, and Carrie Ann Moss.
Fucking Bill Connolly.
Fucking Carrie Ann Moss. So, this movie, what this movie is about. You might be wondering if you haven't really got the whole deal with it with the name of it is in an earthly world resembling the 1950s, a cloud of space radiation has shrouded the planet, resulting in the dead becoming zombies that desire live human flesh. But then a company called Zomcom comes in and invents a collar that makes the zombies servants, basically, and lets you keep a zombie as a pet and have them do regular chores, and basically kind of the new hot home appliance to own and have.
You know, even if that became a thing, I still wouldn't do it.
Oh, it's a recipe for disaster.
Yep.
It's without that's a recipe of disaster. For disaster. So, going to it, even though I wrote 1960s, I meant to wrote 1950s, has an awesome 1950s setting for the whole movie. And what this movie really centers around is this boy and not his dog, but this boy and his zombie. And that's going to be going more into my pros here in a second here. But the boy we're talking about is, excuse me. Actually, my whole thing is now. Here we go. Sorry, everyone. I was having trouble loading it up for a second here. Stars Keeson Lauder, who is Timmy Robinson, and this is what the movie focuses on, is Timmy and his zombie, which is played by Bill Connolly.
Did little Timmy fall down the well? Sorry, it just totally dawned on me why they named him Timmy.
Oh, I'm gonna get to it in a second. It focuses on him and his zombie, and is like coming of age. It's a satire of coming of age films with a boy and his dog. So it's like, you know, My Dog Skip, Lassie, Beethoven, kind of all those. Not Air Bud because he doesn't play basketball. So, I mean,
they dropped the ball on that one.
just
see Bill Connolly zombie doing a slam dunk on Shaq or whatever.
And it would hold up because that's another pro I have, is that the effects makeup in this movie is actually really solid.
Yeah.
Like, the way they do up Bill Connolly as the zombie, it's just really well done, because there's even a scene where they have to like where little Timmy has to actually hose down Fido, and like none of the makeup on him is on Bill Connolly is put on so well.
You just see the sadness in his face too. Like, why does he have to do this?
Well, and the makeup holds up so well. Like, it's really good, solid effects makeup. There's no CG in this entire movie. So, and that's what I am giving it a pro, is that the blood in this movie, although there isn't a lot of gore, which I'm now going to have my own gore rating system of 1 out of 5 buckets of gore. Okay. So I'm going to give them, and that's just amount of gore. And the amount of gore in this movie would be at least 2 out of 5 buckets.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because there's not a whole lot, but when it's there,
it's definitely enough to warrant 2 out of 5. Which 2 out of 5 isn't bad. All that means is that there isn't a lot of gore, but when it is, it's well done. You know, you see severed arms, it looks really well. When you see people getting torn up, it's really well torn up ears. It's just good gore. It's just good blood and gore. I don't know why I'm saying gore so much. I just love it.
Just move on.
Yeah, but I love it. Also, it's creative with its exposition when it gets to the point explaining the movie and the world that they live in. It does it in that very, like, 1950s...
SpaghettiOs? Sorry, I just read the title of your notes.
Yeah. I put that on my Instagram, at the Undead Matt. That's what I'm putting on my Instagram, is, like, what I'm titling all my reviews. So, this one is probably...
Fido, SpaghettiOs. Yeah. Is that how you said it to yourself?
Yeah, it's like, Fido, SpaghettiOs.
Oh my god.
And not my most creative title for a movie review, but one I'm proud of. Anyways, it's just creative with its exposition, because it does it in those, like, black and white, so you know, for your information, like, 1950s, like, film, like, stuff they would show in classrooms. Not that we would know, but... You've seen it before, like like how Fallout kind of does.
Yeah,
stuff.
I would say that's exactly what it reminded me of in the beginning, like when it does all the whole like. Actually, it just reminded me of Fallout, because like, okay, if you played Fallout 4, it's like in that 1950s era like style thing, but there's like futuristic technology. That's like what Fido reminds me of.
Yeah,
Cogsworth.
So it doesn't take a long time getting to its point, which I like. Because, you know me, I hate long intros that don't really do anything. But this one's creative with it, and I like it. So, solid pro for it. And there's just terrific, quirky humor throughout the movie. It starts off a little slow with its humor, but as the movie progresses, it does get a lot funnier as it goes. And it's just, it's not, like, in-your-face dark humor. I would say more like... subtle, quirky, dark humor.
Yeah.
Throughout, because there's a scene where Fido eats someone, like, and he eats a member of the community, and so like Timmy's just like, Fido, what are we gonna do? Kind of like scene, he's like, he's like, if Dad finds out, he's gonna get rid of you. We gotta get home now.
It's just like in like one of the coming of the age movies where the dog eats like the family dinner.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, Bandit, what are we gonna do about you?
Oh, Beethoven.
And like, and the thing is great is like when he's like says that to Fido, he just looks all sad. He's like.
Exactly. And so like it's just like that, because it's like, if you think about it, in any other movie this would be pretty fucked up, where the zombie just ate this person. But in this movie, in this setting where it's like, again, coming of age with his dog, but instead it's a zombie, it's, oh man, we're gonna be so much trouble if Dad finds out.
Yeah, they're gonna put you down.
We gotta get home now. And then like he comes back later on to bury the body. Like it's just like it's just very quirky with the humor, and I love it.
And also the entire interaction of the mom and Fido.
Oh yeah,
the whole movie.
Yeah,
it's that awkward funny where you just kind of giggle the entire time. And you're like, I shouldn't be laughing at this, but I can't help but laugh.
Because it's like a low-key necrophilia jokes.
Yeah,
the entire time.
So many,
especially the neighbor who actually has like the, I guess, hot zombie that he calls Tammy, which basically, it hints at the whole time that they totally go at it.
Yep.
It never shows it, but it hints at it.
Yep.
So it's terrific with its quirky humor. Also, Bill Connolly is final. It is Fido, and that's a pro.
Final?
It's finally
He's
Fido.
final. Sorry.
No,
Just the way you said it.
which Billy Connolly, if you don't know who he is, and you should, because he's been in the most probably greatest movie ever called Boondock Saints.
Yeah, he's the dad.
Yep, is in that movie, and that's why I just made it a pro. Because he's fucking the zombie. He's not fucking the zombie, but he is the fucking zombie.
Yeah.
And it's and I just love that it's Bill Connolly. Like I had to make that a pro because I'm like, this is such a Bill Connolly role. Like it just makes sense and it works so well, and it's just a pro. It's such a solid pro. Mm-hmm. So also, this is one of those other movies where we've talked about this before, episode 3, of women in horror who are badass.
Yeah, and you don't expect it from the mom.
No, Carrie-Anne Moss is the mom to Timmy, and she is a badass throughout the entire film. Like, she starts off really subtle as the very, like, stereotypical 1950s mom who cooks, and it's just like, oh, Timmy, don't worry about those bullies, kind of, like, thing. But, like...
That's why we have Fido.
But you see her become to get more, like, rebellious towards her husband, who expects her to be this very...
Yeah, he's a dick.
Yeah, where he like expects her to be this very perfect cookie cutter like house cooking wife, and you know she's pregnant, which isn't like a big spoiler. She just is pregnant at some point and reveals that, and she just knows how to shoot a gun. She saves Timmy and Billy because he's Fido. But probably one of the more prominent scenes is that. And this is kind of spoiler-it, so I'm gonna like be a little vague about it in a sense, give you enough without giving anything away. So there's a point in the movie where Timmy and Fido get in trouble, and Fido kills some more people, and so the mom finds out about it, and they put the bodies in the shack and burn down the shack. And, like, she's talking... And it was her idea to, like, not only kill the zombies, but burn them to cover up the evidence.
Yeah.
But she's talking to Timmy, and she's like, now, Timmy, I want you to understand that this isn't normal behavior, and that this should never happen again. Okay, Mom. And she's just, like, watching this whole fire go down. And it's just this perfect badass scene. And, like, she drives the car most of the time... driving off-road, and like she shoots guns, and it's just a lot of badass things that she's doing this entire time, and it's just she's cool. She's a badass character. Mm-hmm. And it's I just like her character, you know me.
Yeah.
And this is probably the first time ever that I've ever done a movie review where I've had a 90 to 10% ratio of pros versus cons, because I only have 2 cons for the movie.
Oh, it's not.
Which one was the other one?
A lot of ours.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I feel okay. Recently,
I was gonna say last week was the first time in a long time that we both had a decent amount of cons. I feel like.
Oh, maybe you're right.
So.
Either way, well, then still counts recently.
So, not history making there, sir.
So, but still, only got 2 cons. So there is a lack of dark atmosphere, which might be a turnoff to some people if you don't really know what you're getting into.
Yeah, I don't know. I almost feel like that's kind of a pro because of the setting it's in.
No, I know,
You know?
and for me,
because it's definitely like kind of like satiring fucking angry not Angry Beaver. What the fuck was that show?
that was Angry Beaver.
No, that's Angry Beavers.
Oh, Leave It to Beaver.
Leave It to Beaver. You know, it's kind of like satiring that, and you know, Lassie and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but...
yeah, or what is it? Not Good Times.
Good Times.
But the one with Ben Savage.
Yeah, but like, and I feel like, you know, because that's what it's like putting off to it. So I almost feel like the not having the dark scene, because like what they do is they have it all light and happy and stuff like that, but they just throw in the random dark gory shit randomly, but it's still at the same time like, oh, you.
Well, and that's what I mean, is that might be a turn off to some people, but if you don't know what you're getting into, if you've never seen a trailer for this movie, you might not like it. But that's just the only comment I'm making out of that. And then also, so So at first, like, it's kind of satirical with it, but there's a point where, like, I had to start questioning, why is everyone in this movie terrible at aiming except Carrie-Anne Moss and Little Cindy? So,
Oh yeah, Little Cindy.
not that there's anything wrong with the women being great at aiming their guns.
It's just why is the highly trained military men can't shoot anything?
Yeah, it's just that. And then, like, because there's even...
It's
so
like
there's
Star Wars all over again.
all over again. So there's a scene where they're actually, like, infiltrating ZomCon.
Yeah.
And to, like, make a distraction, Timmy teams up with his neighbor, and his neighbor, who used to work for ZomCon, takes off the collar of one of the zombies to make him a wild zombie. So he starts biting his owner and, like, causes a huge, like, panic. So he causes a distraction, right?
Yeah.
So the guy who's checking everyone in, who works at ZomCon, that you think would be trained on his firearm, he's just shooting wildly, almost shoots a guard in the face.
Yeah.
Shoots a tame zombie in the face, which in this world you're not supposed to if they're tamed, and have their collar working. At least that's what the movie suggests. And, like, he just fucking sucks at shooting. And I'm just like, why are the trained people, like, terrible at shooting? Because, again, why it's a con is so, in class, Timmy and his class, like, have, like, part of their curriculum is to learn how to shoot guns.
Yeah.
So and everyone was in, like, the zombie war. Mm-hmm. So you're just kind of like, why don't they know how to shoot a gun then? Why don't the adults know how to shoot a gun? Like, there's just no reason. There's just no reason for it. Like, why does Carrie-Anne Moss's character know how to shoot a gun really well, but again, the people who work at ZomCon don't know how to shoot a gun for shit?
Yeah.
Like, it's just weird. It's just a weird con. It's just something that really bothered me. But other than that, this movie, without a doubt, is a solid movie. I watched this one with Lauren as well, and she loved it. It was the first time she's ever seen this movie, and she loved it. She was laughing at it. She thought it was sweet, and she liked the movie.
Even with the borderline necrophilia?
Even with the borderline necrophilia. She still loved it. And so, we didn't have any trivia facts for Camp Death 3, but we do have trivia facts for this. Billy Connolly accepted the role of Fido in the weeks before filming since he was interested in the acting challenge of making the character compelling without any dialogue, which he does really fucking well.
Yeah.
And that's another...
His facial expressions are really spot on.
I should have made that another pro, is that Bill Connolly, for not talking at all throughout this entire movie...
Yeah.
did a great job as Fido. Like, hands down. Like, really underappreciated role that he's played. The pregnancy subplot involving Carrie-Anne Moss's character, Helen Robinson, was only added because Moss was really pregnant during filming, and they added the pregnancy scenes to keep the continuity through the movie as she grew larger.
Huh.
And then... Timmy's bedroom contains curtains and a bedspread depicting action scenes from the zombie war. That's talked about within the movie.
So. This is another one I thought was actually kind of cool. Very, very awesome fact. The stunt, not the circumstance, but what the crew did. Stuntman Andrew Dorr set to double for Billy Connolly during the factory scene. He died during a cast lunch, and so the entire film was dedicated to his memory.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, and the last one I'm going to put is director Andrew Curry stated his thoughts about Carrie-Anne Moss as follows. She's just so well prepared and at the same time intuitive. What she brought to the role was such a sense of grace, timing, and beauty. Well, she brought just the right balance to the movie in all areas.
Oh, sorry. I thought this was actually cool. Peter Stormare was actually originally supposed to be Fido, but he was being cast in Prison Break and opted out of the film a week before principal photography was supposed to begin. For those who don't know who Peter Stormare is, just real fast, waiting for it. He's the guy who put Steve Buscemi's character into the wood chipper.
To be even more precise, is he was Satan in Constantine.
Yeah.
So, and we did a review on that. If you haven't checked that out, you should. Plug.
Comic books.
Do you remember the thing you hate?
No, I had it again, but then I just dropped it. Like, it was a good one.
Did it did it have to? So, not the Royal Rumble.
No.
You sure? Not the Super Bowl?
No.
Did it happen something in media?
Yeah, it was something in media. I just can't,
Was
I
it
can't remember.
horror?
No, I was going to talk about, because I just watched the top 10 movie remakes that are actually coming out this year.
Yeah.
Horror movie remakes that I was like, and of course the cover of it was Child's Play, and I was like, we've talked about that too much.
Yeah.
No, I can't.
Was it the Child's Play TV series?
No, I'm excited about that. That's continuing the original story.
I figured you were. I just didn't know if you changed your mind or not.
No, I can't freaking remember. It's bugging the crap out of me.
Was it movies or video game related?
I don't think it was either. I think it was a real world thing that happened.
Comic book?
No.
Oh shit.
Yeah, exactly. I don't remember.
Oh well. Anyways,
it wasn't that important.
So well, then we're at the end of this episode.
Yep.
Thank you for tuning in and listening to us, ghouls and gals. And if you want to keep up with everything we're doing, be part of our listener participation corners, please like us. Follow us on Facebook at Official Punk Horror Podcast. You can search us up, Punk Rock Horror Podcast, or on our Twitter at Official PRHP.
Or on our Instagram, Punk Rock Horror Podcast, hashtag PRHP Podcast.
You can also follow me on Instagram at The Undead Matt. And if you want to support the show and be part of all of our rewards and be, in part of the cool club of kids who get to listen to Anna's Half Hour Power, please consider going to our Patreon, patreon.com/punkrockhorrorpodcast. If you want to send us your creepy stories to read on our Monday episodes or want to send us your band info to come on for band showcase episodes, please send it to our email, punkrockhorrorpodcast@gmail.com. The links for everything that we are talking about are below in the episode notes, and if you're listening to us on YouTube, are in the details. And speaking of where you can listen to us, you can listen to us iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, YouTube, Player FM, and even our website, www.punkrockhorrorpodcast.com. With that being said, I follow Anna as well at punkrockanna on Instagram. And I think that's all we got.
Yeah, basically I was hoping I could find the post, but I can't find it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's bugging the shit out of me.
Well then, with that being said, I think we're done with this episode, Cody.
Yep, I think so.
All right, podcast over.
Podcast over.
Bye.
Bye.